Excellent. So as we go on with our day, I'm going to introduce our next speaker, Ian Henshaw, our Code for Cary. We wanted to definitely today to incorporate the Code for America. That is an effort across the U.S. and world, and that's a significant part of why we're here today. And Ian, as represented from Code for Cary, as a technology evangelist internationally, nationally, and locally, Ian is deeply involved in the open economy, entrepreneurial development, and data management analysis. He has operated as a change agent and community builder with the focus on technology as a tool to solve problems using techniques referred alternately as data engineering, business intelligence, or data-driven decision-making. He has a tremendous amount of history speaking at the local, state, and national levels on entrepreneurship, smart cities, open data, hackathons, and civic engagement trends as applied to economic development. He is an organizer, mentor, and judge at hackathon competitions. However, Ian is most comfortable doing business over coffee and with a handshake. So, as we please welcome Ian Henshaw.
Thank you, Garrison. So I just wanted to point out, so Code for America, so we've also got Chris here is Code for Raleigh, and we've got Laura, thank you, Laura, Code for Durham, and John's here also from Code for Durham, and we've got Dane from Code for Durham, and Jim from So there's a bunch of people here that have some experience in this. So I want to do a quick presentation. So a couple of years ago, Chapter Hill launched the Open Data Portal. So check, you've got that. So the question is, what comes next? So you might look for a project. So here's one. This is Boston, bike safety. They've got kind of a point map of stuff going on. And then this is a heat map. And this obviously is a law company, maybe not a civic reason, but they want to find clients. So looky here, you've got Code for Chapel Hill on their website. They've got a project in the Crash Bottle project. So maybe there's something more to go on with this. So you've got your open data portal, and here's the URL for it. They've got a data set on bicycle crashes, and they've got a data set on pedestrians as well. With that, now on the portal, you can do some quick visualization. So I got a point map, and I've got a point map here of bicycle crashes, pedestrian crashes. So very quickly with that open data portal, you can get to what that Boston project looked like, right? So what comes next? So the open data gives us some basic information. We have a nice visualization. Visualization might point to some potential problem areas. The question is, how do we make that into actionable issues? If it was that easy, then something would have been done about it, right? So the solution here is to add information and context. So that's how to move projects forward. So one of the things you could look at here is usage and number of crashes. So here you've got an individual bicyclist. Maybe it's a very sparsely ridden road for bicyclists. And here you've got this in Portland. There's tons of people that bicycle there, right? So it may be that more bicyclists equals more crashes, or that single solitary bicyclists, drivers don't come across them very often, so maybe that has higher frequency. Again, I don't know, but there are things you can think about. Other things you can do, you can interview bicyclists and pedestrians. It might look something like this. No, maybe it might look like this. So this, with a chart of the maps, you've got bicyclists here. You can talk about some issues and maybe get some feedback about what they think. You can look at maybe the type of intersection. So here I've gone on OpenStreetMap, which is an open source mapping project, kind of like Google Maps, but this is all open source. So we've got several different types of intersections. So maybe a type of intersection has a higher frequency of accident than others. You can do correlations with known activities. And I apologize, I've got a Wake County calendar here. I tried to find one in Chapel Hill or in Orange County or Durham, but they were all just listed numbers. I couldn't find it quickly. I was putting this together in about 20 minutes. So you can look at this. We've got a new school year, so new people showing up in an area. So maybe there's some correlation with that. Or you've got basketball schedules. There's a bunch of people coming into town that probably don't come here very often. So again, these may be some things. And when I talk about correlation, correlation doesn't mean causation. But a lot of times we have to use correlation because if you want to do a proper causation study, you'd say, well, this intersection might be good and this intersection might be bad, but you wouldn't specifically make one bad to prove that it causes crashes, because that would be totally unfair, right? We have to do correlation much more often than causation. You can look at street lighting. So here we've got a well-lit intersection. Here there's some trees blocking lights, so that might be an indication of issues. But again, if you can correlate this with those nice initial charts we had or maps, then you might start getting something that's actionable. And then weather conditions obviously play a part of this. We've got heavy rain, we've got snow. You guys get a lot more snow here apparently than Cary. Some dividing line there. I don't know why you get more snow. But this is very common. This has happened this time of year definitely. So, but this is more complicated. That time of day changes every day of the year. So you have to build some sort of model that would show like the sun angle versus time, and the time of the crashes, and then be able to see if there's some. So this is a lot more complicated, but you have to find like historical weather information. You have to like map the sun type thing. So these are all different ways you can do this. Not to say that the town and the county don't do this, but they only have limited resources. So they do a certain amount of stuff. Now there's several people here. There's hundreds and thousands of people in civic communities. And if we all start looking at these things, we can turn up things. And then if we, instead of just the map, the town can make the map really quickly, right? The county can make the map really quickly. But if you look at that and say, well, we've looked at this with these things, and there seems to be a correlation with this, so this seems to be actionable. Well, that's something that the town and the county can actually do something about. They might not have had the time to come up with that, but your interest in your knowledge of pulling different data sets, you can actually do that, and then you've made something actionable, it can happen, and then your project is actually being able to reduce this crashes and improve safety. So, thank you.